Salam everyone. So I've been asked this question regarding chapter 5 verse 3, which is Surah Al-Maida verse number 3. And most times we see that the verses in the Quran are being linked to certain events. So the Quran itself is the word of Allah, which is a complete revelation or a complete book, and that's how we should treat it. So once we take a look at the certain context of what is being said, the entire message is fairly or evidently clear for us. It's quite often that we see in translations, and I've read several translations of the Quran itself, and then what is being seen quite repetitively is the fact that we are injecting external text into the Quran, or we're interpreting the Quran based on some external text. So that's something that we should sort of avoid and just try to understand what this book or this author, which is Allah or God, is actually speaking to us, because this book teaches us, or is a book of guidance. Okay, so we need to keep that in mind once we approach the Quran. So if you approach the Quran with an information bias, for instance, or if you have some external text that you like to approach the Quran with, that's not doing justice to this book. Try to approach this book as the book itself telling you something, and not you telling the book, right? So with this, let's take a look at and just walk through this simple verse, which is fairly clear, and it is not associated to any event at all. So let's dive right in to chapter 5 and verse 3. So chapter 5 verse 3 in question starts with, it's a fairly long sentence, so I'm going to read the entire sentence and then translate so you understand the context of what is being said. So here we go, verse number 3. So Allah says, حُرَّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةُ وَالدَّمُّ, forbidden to you is carrion and blood, وَلَحْمُ الْخِنْزِيرِ, and the flesh of swine, وَمَا أُحِلَّ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهُ بِهِ, and that dedicated to other than God. So I'm going to continue reading just the translation here for the entire sentence. And the strangled, and the beaten, and the fallen, and the gored, and that eaten by the beast of prey, save what you slaughter, and that sacrifice upon an altar, and that you seek apportionment by divining arrows, that is wanton perfidly, zalikum fisk. Then Allah says, Al-Yawma, this day, have those who are indifferent to warning despaired of your doctrine, which means the Quran, right? So this day, Al-Yawma ya'asal lazina kafaru min dinikum fala takhshawhum wakhshawun. So fear them not, but fear me. To continue, Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-Islamu dina. So this day, I have perfected for you your doctrine and completed my favor upon you and approved for your submission as doctrine. Sentence still continues. Then whoso is compelled by hunger without inclination to falsehood, Allah is forgiving and merciful. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. So this is the complete sentence. So if you were to just take a look at the part of the sentence in question, right? Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-Islamu dina. So the part that is missed is this one from even this section of the few words within this long sentence. The one that you sent as an image, it does not even complete, because the message is in fact completed where Allah says, Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atamtu alaykum ni'mati. So this day have I perfected for you your doctrine and completed my favor upon you, وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامُ دِينًا, and approved for your submission as your deen, right? Islam, which means submission, as doctrine. So your doctrine is basically submitting to Allah, right? So that's what this says. So if you want to just go through the entire sentence, that's what it means. So I'm going to read finally the entire translation from start to finish, so now you know the entire sentence. So verse 3 of chapter 5. Forbidden to you is carrion and blood, and the flesh of swine, and that dedicated to other than God, and the strangled, and the beaten, and the fallen, and the gored, and that eaten by the beasts of prey, save what you slaughter, and that sacrificed upon an altar, and that you seek apportionment by divining arrows, that is wanton perfidly. This day have those who are indifferent to warning despaired of your doctrine. Fear them not, but fear me. This day have I perfected for you your doctrine, and completed my favor upon you, and approved for you submission as doctrine. Then those whoso is compelled by hunger without inclination to falsehood, God is forgiving, merciful. So this is the complete chapter 5, verse 3 translation. So when you read in context, obviously Allah is not speaking about a certain event or a certain place or a certain thing that happened anywhere. Allah is speaking about that this day, people who are indifferent to warning, of course they have despaired of this Quran. So Allah says, fear them not, but fear me. So this day have I perfected for you this doctrine, the Quran, these ayats, and completed my favor upon you, and approved for you, وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامُ دِينًا, and approved for you as submission as doctrine. So this deen, this Islam, the word Islam in Arabic means submit. It's salam, it means peace or submission. And deen means a doctrine, right? A system approved by Allah. So I hope this clarifies this particular verse. Thanks again.